I was wrong in doing what I did.
No, no! No! Are you listening?
Lorne Armstrong, in that picture, that is the equivalent of a nuclear Armstrong blast that finally hits him. And that husk of a man to the left is Roy, who was probably enjoying some kind of beer. And that's Lorne reaching for a bottle. Leaching might be right. Reaching for a bottle in despair. Lorne may be the only person I know whose trailer will collapse around him, and he will still try to add on to it. It's difficult to explain to him how he's a failure. We've heard Casey try to do it. We've heard other people do it, but they never use the word failure or loser. Casey did, and Lorne went on the defensive, which is why, of course, he'll remain a loser. She's trying to explain to him that her mother raised losers. In this game of life, it's how much power, your position, your money, we've talked about that somewhat, and that's how you're judged. That's the level of success you reached. Lorne, he is the epitome of loser. Look at the guy. If he was at least taking care of himself physically, I honestly believe he would have a better chance of getting a job, because appearances do matter. But when you get this guy coming in who looks like a hairy egg, no one's going to want to hire that, because it looks like, and if you're overweight, that's fine. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. But if you look like that and you dress like that, they're going to go, wow, this guy has no self-respect. He doesn't care at all about himself. Why would we expect him to care about our job? They may not say it. They may not even know why they feel it. But that's what's going on in their head. You can't play by a different set of rules and expect to win. I think Lorne's problem is that he grew up with all of these TV shows where a bunch of rich people were making TV shows telling you it's not about money. Money isn't everything. It's about people who care about you. And yes, that is true. But Lorne takes that as gospel. When you say something, I used to think it as gospel, like the Bible. He takes it as gospel, and it's not about what you have. It's about what you do. But Lorne can't even use the what you do, because we know what he's done. Nobody's perfect. He heard that. Now, he didn't apply it to himself realistically, because if you make a mistake, yeah, nobody's perfect. Just get back up and try again. Lorne, he makes so many mistakes, and he thinks it's okay because nobody's perfect. He's a serial killer who's killed 2 people, looking at a serial killer who's killed 25, saying, well, look at that guy over there. He's killed 25 people. I only killed 2. I mean, I know that's a bit extreme, but you know what I'm saying. How he looked at his brother when his brother was struggling. Instead of wanting to help him, really help him, he enjoyed the fact that Roy, at that point, had less than he did. Well, at a few points, had less than he did. How can you have less than Lorne Armstrong? I understand that life is hard, and I know people like to believe that homeless people were just dealt a bad hand. But do the research, find the stats, and you'll discover they really did it to themselves. Substance abuse, their attitude, maybe they had mental issues, and I understand that. Lorne has all of that, and as soon as he can go back to drinking, he's going back to drinking. It makes him feel powerful. It makes him feel strong. It alters his mood. It's self-medication, and he's going to go back to being even worse than he is right now. Well, you think I'm abusive? I'm not that abusive. And he's always deflecting and defensive, and he's like, well, you're also abusive. I'm not the only one who's abusive. And he'll use a little example, something you said at one time, and completely discount the 5 to 7 years of his life where it really came on strong. A decade. No, longer than that it really came on strong. Let's just say his entire life. He's judging himself against other losers. Imagine going through life and that's what you've been doing, judging your success by the failures of others. Not just regular failures, epic failures. Going through life and saying, well, you know, nobody's perfect, as I've said. Money don't mean everything. I don't care about money. Yes, Lorne, we know that. Because if you did, you would be working your butt off to try to make a better life. But you can't, because you think a better life is right around the corner. Because there's going to be a woman that comes in, and all of a sudden life is going to be great. You're going to move forward. But in your head, barely scraping by, as long as you have a woman, that's all that matters. Because you call them my woman. You're my woman. I'm going to marry you, you bitch. He's clueless. He hasn't even worked on himself, let alone getting a job. You have to work on yourself to better yourself, to make yourself valuable, and he has no value to any woman. He looks like a troll. He acts like a psychotic goblin. Of course, he looked like a goblin on that one video where he was green under the green lights, but he looks like a goblin, or he acts like a goblin. So what chance does he think he has of landing a good woman? Attractiveness, security, future. Those are just three things that partners look for, men and women. Common interest. He has no interest. This is a guy who couldn't even get a real hobby, something that would keep him occupied, something that he could be good at, a skill. I mean, the dude couldn't even operate machinery competently. So it blows me away to hear him try to argue what success is. To continue to tell himself that what he's seen on TV, what he continues to see on TV, those surface level life lessons, he'd be the meme guy. He'd be the guy who would read the headlines of something and never dig into the meat and just immediately share it. He'd see the memes and he'd live, laugh, love. You know, all of that stuff. There would be no learn. Live, laugh, love, learn. He would never learn. Put that at the top. Learn, live, laugh, love. Because if you don't learn anything, you're not going to live, laugh, or love. That's why he is where he is. So when I hear him talk about being a failure or being a winner, I'm in shock. That's my short video. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah,